All right, good evening. This is the January 5th, 2022 Cottage Grove City Council meeting, which I'm calling to order. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, will the clerk please do the roll?
Councilmember Kambata.
Present.
Councilmember Dennis.
Here.
Councilmember Thiede.
Here.
Councilmember Olson.
Here.
Mayor Bailey.
Here. Next item on our agenda is open forum. This is the opportunity for anybody that wants to speak on anything that's not on tonight's agenda is welcome to do so at this time. We did have a sign-up sheet out in the entryway, and I saw no one did sign up, but I think, do you want to speak tonight? Okay. And so my next step then was to ask the audience if there's anybody that didn't get a chance to sign up that wants to. So if you want to just go up to the podium and state your name and address for the record. And just as a friendly reminder for the public that it's limited to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to read from some notes because I had a rough night last night. I was in 2 car accidents driving up, and one short Eau Claire and one after Eau Claire. So I had a rough day. But anyway, that's Minnesota weather.
Doc, I know who you are, but the public might not know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Dr. William Dobler, and I was the creator, I guess, of Mississippi Dunes. And I lived in Cottage Grove for years at the house on the corner. And I grew up in Red Wing, Minnesota. And I still have the house I grew up in and stay there periodically. And with a good day, I can see Cottage Grove. I'm a physician, and I still practicing because I haven't learned how to do it right yet. And I'm 78 years going on 50, so I try to keep up to date and try to keep up with computers like Dave here, and I've got seven computers, and I do teleradiography from 16 states. Oh. And covers 85% of the population, so including Minnesota, by the way. So anyway, I guess that's me. And I thank you all for letting me speak, and I'll be as fast and quick as I can here. I guess we introduced ourselves earlier, so I know most of you really well. Tony is new, and I don't know him, but I know all the rest of you pretty well. So. We all worked together for many years. I still remember spending one January of 2007 when it never got above 30 below for 30 days in a row. And I've also remember a December in 2016 when we sodded 3 greens in December, and Tony, Ricky Plummel, who grew up and worked for me here, and he grew up in Cottage Grove and went to Park and went to Rutgers, and I was lucky enough to get him as a superintendent, and he asked me, is this going to work? And I said, well, I have no idea. Did you know anybody else who's ever sodded greens in December in Minnesota? But it worked. And unless you try, you'd never know. You know, I remember the great, is that 3 minutes?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, well, I just said, I was just going to say I remember the great weddings and all the great fun that everybody had, and I think this property can be a great property for people to get away from the fast, busy bustle of life and today, and it can be a great playground. It's got 4,000 feet of shoreline on the Mississippi River. It's the only golf course I know on the entire length of the Mississippi River. And the golf course, some people think was the top course in the world. And with a little bit, we can make it even better than that. We got all the materials right on site. We don't have to truck anything in and tear up any roads, as we all know, like has happened in the past.
So Doc, you obviously are aware that there'll be a meeting tomorrow night, open house over at it's the building next to us here, the Hero Center.
Yeah, I've been to the Hero Center.
Okay.
So I know where it is.
And I believe that you set up a meeting with our staff tomorrow, so I'll say the two of you, but I know it'll be more than that, but then you can kind of share some of your ideas and thoughts with them at that
I
point.
look forward to doing that. Thank you very much.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thanks.
Good seeing all of you again.
Yeah, same to you. All right, being one of those evenings where there isn't a lot of people out and about due to our lovely little weather in Minnesota, I didn't see anybody else out in the audience, so I will go ahead and close the open forum. And we will move to number 5, which is adoption of the agenda.
Move the agenda.
All right, so we have a motion by Councilmember Thiede.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilmember Dennis. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 6 presentations, we have none this evening. 7 is consent calendar. Council, is there anything you want to pull from consent?
Nope.
And if,
Consent.
all right, we have a motion by Councilmember Olson,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Kambata. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So if you're interested in anything that was on tonight's consent calendar, all of those items have been approved. Next is 8 is approved disbursement. 8A is to pay the bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
We have a motion by Councilmember Dennis,
Second.
second by Councilmember Thiede. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 9 is public hearings. We do not have any this evening. Bid awards we do have one. A is the TG-P14 Pond Improvements Bid Award. And our Public Works Director, Ryan Burfine, will take us through this one. So welcome, Ryan.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. We do have our bid award tonight for TGP 14, and what that very engineering lingo is, it's Thompson Grove Pond 14. So we do have a little method behind our madness and our interesting naming of our ponds. Just to remind the council of kind of where this project is at and what it entails, since the name is not very much detail to it. It is down by 95th Street and Jamaica Avenue. It's in that southwest corner of the intersection. It's kind of that somewhat volunteer trees have grown up over the years. The one undeveloped lot kind of in that immediate vicinity. And what we have going on with this project is a portion of that lot was guided in our stormwater plan as a fairly significant stormwater pond to deal with existing drainage and problems we have downstream, but also to handle the ponding for the development site. So the area in blue is the pond that we'll be constructing. The area in red is the development property. And really, to our benefit, we just have a lot of dirt to take out of this pond. We're able to move it to this development site for a very low cost versus hauling it away. So it's really a win-win. So that's what this project will entail. We also have a small pond that was built for the city many years ago. It's kind of in the southern edge of that red, and it's kind of in an odd spot, not very efficient. So we're going to kind of relocate that volume to this ponding area. And the reason we're bidding it early is we do want to do the tree clearing over the winter. That's the best time to do that, and we want to be ready to go right as soon as frost is out of the ground to let the actual excavation start. So you will see the tree clearing happen here, in January, February timeframe. We did get 11 bids, which was really good to see. The low bid was some Northern Lines Contracting of about 1.2 million, just over $1.2 million. You can see our engineer's estimate at the bottom of 1.65. So we did get good bids. There was a wide range of bids, which we expect to see with this many bidders that we did get. So definitely interest in the project, and I think it's a good thing to have this project that contractors can start right away and they know they have some work to begin the season. So I think we saw that in our bid results. And with that, the recommendation tonight is to award the project in just the base bid. There was an alternate for the project, which was for some additional rock excavation. And that was really, that we have a developer who's interested in the property, and if it's something that needed to be done and there needed to be some fill put there, it made sense to do it with the project. They would have had to have paid for that. It's really not needed, is what's been determined. So that's why we're not recommending awarding the alternate at this time, just the base bid. And with that, I'll stand for questions.
Okay, Councilmember Olson.
Same question I ask all the time. Have we worked with this contractor before?
Yep. Councilmember Olson, this contractor we have worked with many times as a city. They have been the low bidder on projects, and also they do a lot of work with different developers in town, so very familiar with them and their company.
Okay, then we're very comfortable with them. I recognize several of the names on the bid list. Pretty exciting to get that many bids, so thank you for answering that.
All right, any other, Councilmember Kambata.
On the alternate, or alternate bid number 1, if somebody comes to the table that wants that parcel and it requires that additional fund, did I understand you correctly that they would be paying that additional cost? Or is that something the city takes on and then gets reimbursed through the land acquisition?
Councilmember Kambata, at this time, it's been determined it's not really necessary for development of the property based on the developer who is looking at it right now. If something were to change, it's really their cost either way, so they would have to just complete it at a later date with their site development, which would be typical. We just included it right now in case it was necessary, maybe more cost effective, but it was just determined not to be necessary.
All right, thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks.
All right, so if there's no other questions or comments, the resolution adoption is before us. Who would like to make it?
Mayor, I'll move we adopt Resolution 2022-004, awarding the TGP14 Pond Improvement Project to Northern Lines Contracting for the base bid of $1,222,843.50.
All right, so we have a motion by Councilmember Olson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Kambata. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is the 11, which is the regular agenda, and there's 2 items. The first item is commissions and committee appointments, just for the public, and then I'll read through it. Just the council already knows this, but every beginning of the year, as mayor, I assign council members to various positions, if you will, or commission liaisons. And so once again this year, I'm making my recommendations and will ask the council for approval, just so that the public is aware. This year, what I'm looking for is ratification for 2022, which would be Mayor Pro Tem will be Steve Dennis. Economic Development Authority will be myself with Councilmember Dennis. Historic Preservation Advisory Committee will be Councilmember Thiede, along with Planning Commission, Councilmember Thiede. Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Committee would be Councilmember Kambata. Public Services Commission will be Councilmember Olson. Strawberry Festival, we're throwing one in there for you there, Steve. Councilmember Thiede and Councilmember Dennis. Investment Committee, Councilmember Olson and Councilmember Kambata. Red Rock Corridor Commission will be Councilmember Kambata. South Washington County Telecommunications Commission will be Councilmember Olson. The South Washington Watershed District will be Councilmember Olson. The Holiday Train Committee, if they get it up rolling again, obviously, will be myself and Councilmember Kambata. Beyond the Yellow Ribbon will be Councilmember Dennis and Councilmember Olson as kind of the alternate, either way that you guys want to do that. Great River Rail will be Councilmember Thiede. East Metro Strong will be Councilmember Thiede. The Cottage Grove Chamber of Commerce will be Councilmember Kambata. And the Cottage Grove Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is fairly new for us now, also will be Councilmember Dennis and Councilmember Olson. So that's for the public to be aware of who we are. So what I'm looking for now from council is any questions and then an opportunity to approve. Yes, Councilmember Olson.
For the Cable Commission, I don't know if this is relevant, but last year when we did appointments, we had the appointed member and then we had an alternate in case the appointed member could not attend. And I believe last year the alternate was Councilmember Thiede. Is it expected that he would serve in that role again this year?
Yeah, I mean, the reason we didn't do it is last year, though, I think we did it because you were on the board, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was the reason we had done
I
it,
see.
last
Okay.
year.
Okay.
And so that was the reason that we held it over on that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay? Yeah, Councilmember Dennis.
Thank you, Mayor. One thing I'll bring up with Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, I'm an actual board member of that organization. So I would just simply ask you to allow Councilmember Olson to be lead chair as representative from our council.
Okay, that's fine.
As he's done a wonderful job with that. And then I'm going to be there by virtue of being on the board. So we'll have good representation. So,
Sounds good.
right.
All right. If no other comments, then I will look for a motion to approve the committee position assignments for 2022.
Motion to approve all positions as indicated.
All right, motion by Councilmember Dennis. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Kambata. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed? Motion carries. All right, last item on our agenda for council consideration. I'll just mention a couple things here, and this is it's for us to review the 2022 city council schedule. The only comment I would mention just for the general public that is typically the council meets the first and third Wednesdays of every month. The only 1 month that we don't is July because of the 4th of July. So in the month of July, we will have one meeting on the 20th, a council meeting on the 20th. And then I will also just mention for the public that the council has a strategic planning workshop on January 22nd, along with some follow-ups from the workshop on February 9th and February 23rd. We have a joint meeting with the city of Woodbury on March 30th. The city council has had staff in this past year going over code reviews and policies and such within the city. And so we have some workshops to go through that. They've been spending a lot of time putting that together. That'll be on March 23rd and April 27th. And then as normal, we will have special budget workshops on July 27th and August 10th. And as I mentioned, we will not be having a meeting on July 6th, which is due to the 4th of July holiday. So in this case, council will need a motion and a second to approve the calendar for 2022.
Move the calendar for
right.
2022.
So we have a motion by Councilmember Thiede,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Olson. Any further discussion? Councilmember Olson.
Should we determine that we want to make any changes to the calendar, we can revise this at a later date, correct? Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is just to make it official for now and if
Sure.
there's any
Yep.
tweaks. All right, any further discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Next is 12, which is council comments requests. I'll start with Councilmember Kambata.
It's a new year. It's starting out to be a cold year, but I have to say I'm really pleased with what I've been seeing around town with our public works crews really kind of keeping the city safe and keeping walkways and everything cleared. So just really proud of our city staff and what they've been working on this last couple months with the snow.
Perfect, thank you. That's it?
That's all I've got.
All right, Councilmember Dennis?
I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. So that's what I have.
All right, sounds good. Councilmember Thiede?
Yeah, I guess I want to mention one thing, and I guess I should have maybe talked to Pete before, was in terms of COVID testing, is that now that, you've seen on the news now, Cottage Grove, and is there something we can say about that yet?
I can.
Not yet. Captain Martin, we obviously saw the press release from the governor's office, but we don't have anything specific, so.
Okay.
We reached out to DPS and we're hoping to have information tomorrow. We're already getting phone calls at City Hall, so as soon as
Well,
we
that's
have.
kind of what I was, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
kind of caught us off guard, but we'll definitely get information.
All right. And other than that, yeah, Happy New Year.
All right, sounds good.
2022 is going to be a great year. And just think about it, if in 200 years, it'll be 2222. Just think if you could maybe, come back or go forward in time or something. That'd be neat, wouldn't it?
There you go.
Just some light facts,
All right, Councilmember Olson?
I'm not quite sure how to follow that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. This is one of the pleasures of the opportunity I've been given to sit next to Dave, is that I can absorb these things
Right?
up close
Yeah.
and personal by osmosis.
Yeah.
On a separate note, with respect to the COVID testing, I'm not sure if I'm telling tales out of school, but my understanding from speaking to members of our state legislative contingent is that the testing site will be the Cottage Grove Armory, and that the testing will begin sometime early next week if everything falls into place. Is there information to the contrary that anybody else has?
That is what we have, is the armory is starting next Tuesday, but we don't have any other details yet.
Okay, all right, so you can confirm that at least those two pieces of information are accurate. Okay, thank you. You know, to piggyback on that a bit, it's no secret if, you know, you're not living with your head under the covers all day long, that this time of year tends to be the time of year when we see flu season kick into high gear, which it has. It also obviously continues to be a challenge with respect to COVID-19 and the variants that continue to hit everybody at different times. So I would like to encourage folks who might be watching at home to, first of all, please take it seriously. You know, speaking anecdotally, as a business operator, I can tell you that I have several, and by several I mean into the high double digits, employees in the last 2 weeks who have had to be quarantined due to COVID-19 exposure and or positive tests. And that's the best thing you can do is if you don't feel well, get tested. Don't assume that it's something that it may not be. Make sure you get tested and rule that out so that you don't pass that along to your friends or family members or coworkers, et cetera. Hopefully that'll become a little bit easier for people in Cottage Grove starting next week. But take it very seriously in terms of masking, et cetera. I know that the mayors of Minneapolis and St. Paul announced today that they are reinstituting a mask mandate for public spaces. City of Cottage Grove, to my knowledge, has not had any conversation about that. And if and when we do, the mayor would be the person who would provide that sort of guidance in conjunction with city staff, the CDC, Washington County Department of Health, State Department of Health. But we can all take measures to protect ourselves and our families. And I would encourage everybody to have a healthy new year by ensuring that, you know, you really are careful with regard to exposure, because it's nothing to mess with. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. And for me, that was the only thing I was going to bring up, is just a little bit of what I knew, because I've been getting also inundated with questions about the testing. But at this point, as soon as we know more, we'll put it out on the city's website, Facebook pages, and I'm sure us on council and mayor will get it out to the general public. All right, next on our agenda is 13, which is workshop open to public. We don't have one this evening. 14 is a workshop closed to the public. I would like to add one this evening for the council, if the council's okay with it. I would like to make a motion that we close the meeting under Minnesota Statute 13D.05, Subdivision 2, A-2, and Subdivision 3.D. Lots of dots and such in there. And I can better explain it in closed session, what the purpose of the closed session is. So I'll need a motion.
So moved.
All right, so I have a motion by Councilmember Olson. I need a second.
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilmember Kambata. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. So then we won't be adjourning in here. We will be adjourning once we do the closed workshop. So I'll just, again, with everybody else, have a safe, happy new year, and we'll move to the training room.